mortality on the roads.
Look at this thin, young, handsome, boyish, baby-faced Alex Jones.
Well, that's 2004, but yeah, I mean, I knew you in like
98. Well, in 98
I met you in 98, but then I got to know you in 99.
This was when you were, 98 was when you were protesting.
And this is my clip. You guys are welcome to play this. It's
there. Who else? Alex Jones. He's the biggest,
I love Alex Jones.
The most downloads. Alex beat everybody by a
really?
fuckload. Yeah, man. It was interesting.
So here's my theory on Alex Jones.
Uh-oh.
Just if you want to go there.
Okay.
I love going there. So I think he's a government plot.
He's not. I'll tell you that for sure. I've known him forever. I've known Alex since 1998. He's not a government plot.
He couldn't tell you because you would tell everybody.
He's not. I've hung out with that guy. I get high with him. I get drunk with him. He's a fun dude. He is a guy who started out as a guy who was against the president. He was against George W. Bush. When W. Bush, I don't even think he was running for president at the time, right? Or was he? When was it? When did Bush become? No, Clinton was president. Yeah, Clinton was president. George W. was the governor of Texas. And he was getting arrested for protesting against them, protesting against the global elitists and all these different things. Right. He didn't really become a supporter of any form of government until Trump. I mean, Trump is like the first guy, and he may or may not be getting played by Trump, where, you know, Trump's his buddy. And I mean, Trump is he's a slick guy in terms of how he cultivates influence.
He's an anomaly for sure. Right?
So he's an interesting character in a lot of ways. I mean, if it wasn't.
So shoot down my theory completely. It's just a theory. I don't promulgate it as fact or anything. But I've always thought that Alex Jones was built by the government to make conspiracy theorists look like loons.
He didn't used to make them look like loons.
Really?
No. He was much more.
It started with 9/11, though, right?
No. Alex was around way before 9/11. But I mean, he started with Waco.
But that's when he came to prominence, right? Like, because he was the first to kind of.
No, even before then, man. You know, I mean,
but nobody cared about him before.
He was on AM radio before then,
right?
But he's been around forever. All right. I mean, like I said, I met him in 98.
I'm glad I'm wrong then.
I met him in 98, so it was several years before 2001. And he was doing the same shit back then.
Nice.
I mean, he's always been around doing that. Right. He's right about a lot of shit, and that's what's so confusing. Right. Like, he is absolutely right about what they call agent provocateurs, where the government will send in people if they have a peaceful protest that's very inconvenient. Alex Jones, you're like a decorated correspondent for the news now. What the fuck's going on?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're like a official White House guy now, right?
Oh, no.
Can't you, like, you're actually like a news guy, like 100% legit?
Well, sure. I mean, I'm setting up a news bureau and stuff, but that's just part of it.
Yeah, but like you're in deep with the Trump administration.
Well, I've had Trump on and I talked to him some, but I mean, really,
he's your buddy.
Really, it's just that we're covering the resurgence of America, what made the country great, lower taxes, empowering the people, bringing people together. The opposite of what MSM said. What's happening is mainstream media is literally almost dead. It's collapsing. I mean, look at you. I mean, I remember having dinner with you like 6-7 years ago, and you're like, yeah, we got 1 million downloads a week. Now it's 90 million or whatever it is a month, and 20 million on YouTube. And for Infowars, it's similar numbers. It's a good week's 40 million. We've had as many as 85 million people listen on radio and tune into videos in 1 week. That was election week, but our normal's 40-something million. It's just crazy. How can they compete with that? They're still delusional. The average CNN show is like 1 million viewers. Fox thinks it's the big swinging dick. It's got 3-4 million. It's all, I'm sorry, people transmitting and broadcasting to geriatric homes. You know where you see Fox News and CNN in nursing homes. You know what you see with kids 10 years old up to college and beyond. It's a Joe Rogan experience. And it's Infowars. And it's all these other folks. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a weird time, isn't it? It seems like those shows where you have to tune in from 8 to 9 and you have to sit through the commercials, that's kind of all gone away because of DVRs, because now people just have to wait a few minutes so you could DVR through all the commercials, or you record things after the fact.
I remember you like 15 years ago saying, the internet killed television. They haven't announced it yet, but you watch it's going to kill it, because how can they compete with what you can do on the internet? You know, a guy getting screwed by a horse or, you know, whatever it is. I mean, how the hell can you compete with all this craziness?
Did you see the guy
who runs things? Let's get into the mindset. Whatever points you want, and I'll try to shut up and go through it.
This is Tim Dillon's wheelhouse.
This is because you're saying they want mortality on the roads.
Look at this thin, young, handsome, boyish, baby-faced Alex Jones.
Well, that's 2004, but yeah, I mean, I knew you in like 98.
Well, in 98
I met you in 98, but then I got to know you in 99.
This was when you were, 98 was when you were protesting.
And this is my clip. You guys are welcome to play this. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll sign a form you can use
What is going on in this clip?
He's interviewing a lizard.
Let's
no, this is the
It's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove.
You want to start it over? It's David Gergen. Let me set it up.
Yeah,
Let me set it up.
Set it up.
96.
Let me set it up.
Got very.
Okay, yeah, just right when he goes. David Gergen, I'm outside. What's the main thing in New York where everybody plays?
By the way, this is when Bill Hicks was alive, so I can confirm that you are not Bill
Madison
Hicks.
Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden, and here comes David Gergen, the Karl Rove of like 4 or 5 administrations, and I knew that he was part of the actual ritual at Bohemian Grove, so I bring it up to him, and he blows up at me. Here it is.
Okay.
He's like 8 feet tall.
Just a few questions about the convention.
Yeah, well, is our camera, or are you?
Yeah, right there. Just about. Yeah, but I just want to get your permission first. Here.
Okay. It's looking like I've got.
No, I understand. Just about a minute or two.
Okay, great.
We're talking to David Gergen, and he has advised several presidents, and of course has written quite a few books, and is I would call you a political pundit or researcher.
Commentary at Over the Hill, whatever.
One last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, hey, I don't run around in the woods naked. What did that mean?
Is the proof of guilt.
Yeah, and we just wrote this e-book, question of eligibility, under my name, Jerome Corsi, and Mike Zollo, D-U-L-L-O. We lay all this out, just like we did at the press conference. Now, your question, another universe and an alternate space, and, quantum quagmire, basically.
I think if ESPN's going to go, there's a nuclear war.
Well, I got news for you. Where do you think the mainstream news is going to go, Bill? Where do you think the mainstream news is going to go, Bill?
Well, my friend was kind of unhinged. He contacted Kevin Booth, who was best friends with Bill Hicks. He asked the creepiest question. He goes, could you give me an article of clothing that Bill owned? Instead, he sent us a VHS of Alex Jones. And we were like, who's this guy who looks like Bill Hicks? And I watched this, and I'm like, oh, this guy must be awesome if Kevin Booth says to watch him. And it was Alex Jones talking about, freedom. And he was like, they're trying to get thumbprints in order to get a driver's license in my area. Well, not his area. So I'm going to get online, and I'm going to say that I refuse to give a thumbprint. And they were just like, he gets a line, and like, well, sir, he's like, well, I'm not going to leave. I'm like, okay, well, you have to let the next person lie and go, no. And he's like, okay, well, then we're going to have to just remove you for trespassing if you're going to obstruct the line. And then, of course, he did the you see what they're doing? They're locking me up. They are arresting me for trying. And it was like, they're arresting you for holding up a line. No.
Alex Jones is what kind of a guy? How do you explain him?
He's 26 years old and looks 10 years older. He's a hero to the militias. He's a burgeoning new hero. On one hand, he's kind of like Tex Mars, a popular underground radio talk show host. But he's also much more than somebody like Tex Mars. He's an activist. So he rebuilt David Koresh's church.
Where can you hear him?
Infowars.com is his website, and he broadcasts in like 40 cities across America. I think it's called the Genesis Radio Network.
Do you ever hear him?
Yeah, I've listened. He's fantastic. I mean, if he wasn't so crazy, he'd be the new Bill Hicks. He's got an amazing way.
Bill Hicks?
He was an old comedian who died of cancer in the 90s, and again was a kind of hero to the libertarian left, Bill Hicks, because he smoked in the face of cancer. That was funny. And but what happened with me and Alex is that we both witnessed this owl burning ceremony.
None of this is an act. He's a true believing patriot. He feels passionately about everything he talks about.
He is sincere. He means everything. And I think people were very desperate to get under the skin of that somehow and suggest that it's performance art because the alternative terrifies them.
Well, a law firm in New York City offered me $100,000 if I could get some of his DNA. They wanted to find out whether he was really a supposedly deceased comedian named Bill Hicks.
I decline.
First on this day in 1961, Bill Hicks was born. The comedian so searingly insightful that had he had more time, he could have started his own church. His specialty, pointing out hypocrisy and inconsistency. He suggested once that the essential message of religion was eternal suffering awaits anyone who questions God's infinite love, and noted that maybe one of the reasons Jesus had not returned was that those who believed in him still wore tiny crucifixes around their necks, as if Jesus ever wanted to see another crucifix in a million years. Bill Hicks died at the age of 32 in 1994, but he's still being quoted, and probably will be for several millennia to come.
Super secret. I thought something interesting was going to come. One of the things that I did in my the waning weeks of my show was a segment called Bill Hicks is Still Ahead of the Curve. I'd like to add something to this. Your presence here confirms two things of great importance. Bill Hicks is alive and well.
Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. You know, I get 30, 40 times. I don't run that. I just got a link through the couch. Okay. Well, yeah, that's been greatly, your demise has been greatly exaggerated. Yeah. All right, back to work. Yes, sir. I never expected to be on every day here locally. I never expected to be number one and number two in every demographic, which again is unheard of for a station that doesn't have billboards. It doesn't have TV commercials. Yeah, it's just incredible to take that and rise up through the ranks and beat all these 100,000 watt FM stations. Yeah. And I beat KLBJ in my time slot. Yeah, they're 100,000 watts. No, not their age. What are they? Like Dr. Death, Dr. Death is in his disaster party, mate. Seems like, don't mess with me. No. You're going to tell the story. We want to tell the story of Dr. Death. It's like, I don't want to like film for Alex's reaction to my story. That's better shot. Go ahead and get it. Bold, swift, top-level Illuminati lieutenant. He now prepares to give Bush transmission orders over the space-time continuum. Don't struggle. I'm the governor. I'm here to help you, Kevin. Don't listen to Alex. Like I said, we're walking on a sunset strip. Alex Jones is in performance mode, ladies and gentlemen. And you just beat yourself all the time. Wouldn't that be better? Then every now and then you pull out your chest to be the Alex Jones from the radio. I am being myself. Sing the truth. He's gonna kick my ass. Look at he's gonna go.
Any of your average Bill Hicks fans that are also Sacred Cow fans.
Just wanted to get some background information. Sure. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Rockwall, Texas, outside Dallas, Texas, and a very uneventful childhood. I helped walk the ladies across the street. I picked flowers on the weekend. I volunteered for local church programs. You're an East Side loco. Yo. Do this like Kevin Boots, like badass, man.
So what do you think about like people saying that Bill Hicks was killed?
That's people are saying that? The government got Bill?
Bill Hicks probably was killed by Wonder Bread and
I thought it was orange drink that killed him.
Yeah, a little orange drink.
You never heard this yet.
Don't worry about it. People are saying that the government killed Bill Hicks.
Yeah, I get emails about that all the time.
Yeah.
Have you thought that it's true?
There's full intimidation.
You're saying how easy it is and how they kill people.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't have where they get technicians to do all that. When things get really bad, the more the system's mechanized.
Bill Hicks was killed. Have people are saying that? The government got Bill?
Bill Hicks probably was killed by
Who was that?
Wonder Bread and, I thought it was orange drink.
Do a commercial, you're off the artistic roll call. Every word you say is suspect. You're a corporate whore, and end of story. And yes, I have been offered commercials, so I'm not jealous, and I turned them all down because I'm not a salesman. And I don't need money that is built on blood. So.
Who offered to you?
Well, in England, I did this classic England. I got offered this is the product, you ready? Orange drink. I'm going, what's the name of it? Orange drink. It's classic England, right? It's such a socialist fucking nightmare over there, right? That's the drink. It's orange drink. I said, yeah, you really got my act down good, guys. That'll be great. When I'm done ranting about elite power that rules the planet under a totalitarian government that uses the media in order to keep people stupid, my throat gets parched. That's why I drink orange drink. Yeah, right. See, don't you see how it all fit in? Don't you see how every word I said would be hollow and filled with nothing?
I'm good. Rent a car. Take a look at Reno and her serpent-like advisors behind her, and all she is a clicking, sputtering lizard, a vessel that international evil is just poured into. Man, I'm telling you. Well, enough semantics. Back to program. I hope this has helped wake some people up about what's going on in our nation. I hope this has helped wake some people up about what's going on in our nation.
All right, Austin, I think my mic's back up, and I put that together this week. It's kind of a compilation of different stuff I've run. There you have it, in your face, and they're not ashamed one damn bit of what they're doing. And they are really getting the dregs of society now into our law enforcement, especially our federal law enforcement, and they're rooting out all the good people. It's not just Alex Jones, it's people like Frederick Whitehurst. He's one of the heads of the FBI crime lab. And the Sterling Record came out and said that this is wrong. He said the FBI has been manufacturing evidence. I've had the newspaper articles here, but they put it in the back of the paper once or twice. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're talking about. And everything smiles and giggles on TV, except when there's those bad people. And they're using body language, manipulation, semantics to train you to be mindless.
My old buddy Kevin Booth, I've known you since 1994, so I was first getting around Access 95. Yeah. Bill had just died. I had just staged my death.
Yeah, at the time, Bill was here in Austin working on several projects. We were actually working on a project that was called the Virtual Tonight Show for Australian TV, where we were going to do the thing about Branch Davidia.
And
he was being offered national TV shows. He'd done one in England, all this stuff, but he'd rather stage his death than become on show.
Well, we had a thing where we were doing a gag where you remember the cows that were around the Branch Davidian compound?
Yes.
We were going to do a gag where Bill was going to be one of the cows that was out there by Branch Davidia, and he was like using that to get close to the compound. But during that whole time coming and going, you were just starting on public access TV, and you were this young guy that sat in front of the star map, and I couldn't really tell what you were rambling about, but it was kind of magnetic. And actually, Bill wrote a script about, it was called Public Access, where there was a main character kind of loosely based on you, named Arturo, that he was going to play. So he actually wrote a script, the main character...
There's the proof how I did it, how I became Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Well, separately, I got to know and become good friends with Mike Judge.